Alright guys, it is officially release day for Concord. Yes, the much-awaited hero shooter that we are all dying to play, all tens of the hundreds of us that apparently are playing this game. I mean, I'm not playing it, but I'm sure somebody is, right? I'm sure there's at least a few people out there somewhere playing this game. So IGN decided to put this review out here and not actually give Concord a score, which is really weird because I'm sure they've had plenty of time to play it. They've played the beta, they played the closed beta, open beta. I'm sure they were playing it in early access, yet they choose not to give it a score, which is very curious. And of course, they have this article going on explaining the things they like about it, things they don't like about it, trying to paint and polish this turd in some positive way to basically say, oh yeah, it's got so much promise, it just has to excel in certain ways. And once it gets a little better, once we see a little bit more content, once we see a little bit more of this cinematic storytelling take place, the game, of course, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it, guys. This is just IGN doing what IGN does, being an insider media shill, the access media, not wanting to fall out of the good graces of Sony. Because remember, this is Firewalk Studios' first game, this, relatively small team of developers, but they're owned by Sony. So this, of course, is a big deal. They want this to completely come out of the, rocking out of the gates. They want this to be the next big hero shooter to rival Overwatch or Apex Legends. Unfortunately, that's not happening. Now, before we get into the numbers, I saw this tweet a little too late to include it in my video last night from Old Man Grimm. And this is the funniest shit, because over here you've got Ethan Gach from Kotaku. Kotaku, one of the worst outlets out there, saying, Night 3 of Concord early access and the level 6 mode still can't match with anyone after 10 minutes. Okay? This, of course, was during the last 3 days of early access where only the super premium deluxe, edition owners of this game could play it. So it's been available for 3 days, but the really ironic part is when I've tried searching on the Steam chart websites to see how many people have been playing it, you can't see those numbers until today. So very weird. It's like nobody was playing it almost. So you see Paul Tassi replying down here, tomorrow's going to be something, thinking this game is just going to do numbers. Giovanni Colantonio in shock, saying, I genuinely can't believe it. Well, the reality is here, and it's not pretty for these guys. But before we continue, just make sure you check out Meta PCs. I've got a link in my description down below. I've even got a discount code you can use. That's all listed in my description for the video. These guys are fantastic. They do great work. All based here in the US. Every one of their components is top-notch, top of the line. They've got budget builds. They can customize whatever it is you're looking for. They've got financing available. And you guys have been kicking ass and taking names, supporting the channel. I've already sold a few of these things. Somebody came in today with a fantastic build that I'm not even kidding, I am jealous of. I am like hardcore jealous of this guy's PC he put together. So I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Go check out Meta PCs. Use code TBO for a little bit of a discount. So now we have this article today from That Park Place saying Concord dies out of the gate. Release date, peak concurrent player count on Steam is 70% less than the game's open beta. So the player count today is 70% less than the open beta was. Now here's the thing, guys. I said this morning, last night when I actually recorded the video, that I anticipated this game would have less than 10,000 people playing it at its peak on Steam. And I was giving it a very gracious number saying 10,000. I'm like, okay. Figuring in the amount of people who are just going to buy it, maybe check it out, even if they refund it, the amount of people who are going to buy it day one who didn't go play the open beta, I'm sure they're going to get at least a few thousand people playing it. Oh no. No, if you refresh the numbers right now, the peak for the day was 697 people, and currently playing is only 594. And this isn't like the game just came out minutes ago. This game came out hours ago, guys. It's currently 7:50 my time. I'm on the West Coast. So there's no excuse that anybody who bought this game isn't playing it. And yet here we sit, sub 600 current players on Steam. And of course, we can't see the PlayStation numbers, but it's almost irrelevant at this point because if you compare the numbers from the PlayStation beta that they released, apparently the PlayStation open beta, unlike the Steam open beta, lost players. They had less concurrent players during the open beta on PlayStation than they did in the closed beta. This is how bad this game is. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to play it. It's not even charting in the top 10 games on PlayStation, okay? Despite them saying it's number 6, I believe, in sales, it's not even in the top 10 in the United States on PlayStation for best-selling games. So, of course, they're trying to sell this as, oh, there's no controversy, this game's going to do great, it's going to be amazing, right? And of course, the article here from That Park Place says Firewalk Studios can only blame themselves. After the game was initially showcased during a PlayStation State of Play presentation, gamers made it abundantly clear that they wanted nothing to do with it, especially with it pushing pronoun nonsense and DEI character designs. The director of IP, Kim Crines, brushed off the backlash, telling VGC, yeah, that trailer, that moment is such a tiny slice of everything that we've been working on for years and years. We're excited for the game and for the IP and for the game to be in people's hands, the IP to be in people's minds. Well, guess what? You got it in people's hands, but the problem is you got it in a few thousand too few, like 10,000 too few, 100,000 too few. Because when you look at the actual cost of this game, Smash JT did a fantastic job breaking this down. This game cost over $200,000 per player if you base it on these Steam numbers. Now again, they're going to be selling copies on PlayStation, sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's less people playing this on PlayStation based on the beta numbers than on Steam. And here's the crazy thing. Compare this to the free games, because remember, the base copy of this game is $40. You can buy the $50 edition, which got you the early access for 3 days, or the $40 edition, which is probably what most people bought. Apex Legends, yes, free to play, full of microtransactions, I 100% get you there, is a game that's been around for years now. I started playing Apex Legends like 5 years ago and then quit when it became like really cringe. 86,000 people currently playing this game on Steam, just on Steam. Not counting Xbox, not counting PlayStation, not counting, I believe it's on Epic, I could be wrong. It's also on Nintendo. Overwatch 2, just on Steam, 44,000 players. Okay. This tells you something. It's not just about the $40 price tag. There's a certain perception of quality that goes into what people choose to play. And if you want to compare it to like Black Myth Wukong and you go, wait a second, how can you compare their completely different genres, nothing at all alike? Just hang with me a second. Black Myth Wukong is a game that again came out with a $60, $70 price tag. Over 1 million people playing it right now. Compare that to a similar game, Flintlock. Another Souls-like, God of War-like RPG. 12 people currently playing it on Steam. Oh, I'm sorry, it's up to 14 now. And again, a game that was released on an Xbox Game Pass, where essentially these developers, these studios make zero money. But that's not all, guys. It gets even better. Veridark points out that a Concord developer is not only calling gamers a bunch of talentless freaks for criticizing the game, but is also silencing them. Go figure. And what she's talking about right here is this person saying, I'm so sorry, this has to be your first release. I do not believe it is you or any of the other devs' fault that this game has performed so poorly. I can tell a lot of effort was put into completing this game. It just came at the wrong time and genre. And then this guy, who apparently is a developer with Concord, or maybe it's a girl, I don't know, says, I don't really care. It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And of course, you can see people pointing out nobody's buying it and playing it. Replies were hidden by the original poster. The Twitter account Anim Xander, the developer. Thank you for this dog shit ass game. I'm sorry, but not playing a game without disabled representation. Yeah, I'm glad the 10 people who pre-ordered are having a blast, though. It's probably not gonna go past season 2. And of course, hiding the replies. Now, the crazy thing about this is the fact that if you go back to the beginning, these developers reportedly, according to a rumor, said that they weren't worried about the controversy. They weren't concerned about all the pushback. They were just going to double down on the pronoun crap and just kind of go with it and essentially ignore the haters. And this is where it's taken them. A game that essentially spent 8 years in development, cost millions upon millions of dollars to make, and there's no audience for. Once again, the modern audience doesn't exist. But I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this. I'm going to be hopping on my live stream probably about an hour or so after I release this. Stop by, we're playing some more Black Myth Wukong, and I will catch you on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.